Welcome friends to another Dune video. During Dune Part 2, there was a section that I couldn't swallow, that the Fremen knew or were aware of the Bene Gesserit and their manipulation of them. To me, the Bene Gesserit puppet master the universe from behind the scenes, those in power knowing nothing about it. I've been through the book about a dozen times in my life and it's something I don't recall. Maybe I missed it, or maybe it was a film invention to explain the story that they was trying to tell there. Either way, I thought I would look at the lore and see if there's a way to explain this, so let's begin. The main thrust behind influencing these planets is done under the banner of the Missionara Protectiva. What they do is seed superstition and belief, engineer religion on worlds, so that later they can exploit those beliefs for their own ends. For the Bene Gesserit, should they need to plug themselves into faith on a planet, using the beliefs spread there, and take up the role, this could be as a leader, or a protector, or a religious leader, and then they would use and influence them, use that lever of the faith to push things in the direction that suits their aims. How these beliefs are seeded comes under the Panoplia Propheticus. It contains superstitions and prophecies which can be seeded in so many different ways, depending upon the needs and the simplicity of those that need to be influenced. It's a guide book, if you will, on how and when to engineer faith in certain ways. On Dune, they set up the Listen Al-Gaib, the voice from the outer world. This legend was planted there, and it also carries a related role for Jessica, the Great Mother. On harsh, dangerous worlds like Arrakis, the Missionara Protectiva has put in place strong roles for the Bene Gesserit to use. Arrakis, you see, is a one-off in the Imperium. It's an important planet due to the spice melange and the nexus of power that has grown up around it. Now, the Fremen already have Reverend Mothers within their faith, playing the role of religious advisors to the leader of a Fremen siege, the Naib. Are those roles also an implantation of the Bene Gesserit and the Missionara Protectiva? According to the Dune Encyclopedia, most Fremen can trace their ancestors back to Zinsuni Wanderers. Amongst the planets they were moved to was Rosak, where it states the Reverend Mothers, as they became known, became acquainted with the poison drug that let them direct the chain of ancestral memory and supplement the Wanderer's oral legends. Circumstantial evidence from the Imperial records about Rosak implies that the Bene Gesserit's Missionara Protectiva and Panoplia Propheticus apparatus was grafted to the Fremen's Zinsuni heritage there. So the answer is yes. So perhaps though this was not planned, those beliefs never left the Fremen. They were infiltrated deep within their society. So later, when some arrived in Arrakis, perhaps further manipulation was done there. So that's one possible source for how the Fremen know ancestral memory of the time on Rosak. This memory and something the Bene Gesserit and wild Reverend Mothers can do is they gain access to prior Reverend Mothers on the female side only when they take in a strong narcotic such as spice. The abilities of a Bene Gesserit allow them to convert this into something inert within them, and then they can access and recall the memories. For the Fremen, this can be how they lived in the past, perhaps some of their history as wanderers, as I mentioned earlier. And though memories, they also carry personalities too. There can be a force of will to change someone once their mind is joined with the previous minds. So that's a source, but not amongst the Fremen general populace, outside of the upper religious ranks of the Reverend Mothers. And here we have the Sidena's role within things. Chani, Paul's lover within Dune Part 1 and 2, and Paul's wife within the larger Dune mythos, was trained and played the role of a Sidena. This is a religious role amongst the Fremen. The Dune Encyclopedia tells it like so. Chani, the old Reverend Mother saw, demonstrated many of the traits necessary for a Sidena. She possessed courage, intelligence, and compassion. She was capable of considering her own mortality while discounting it in the light of her people's survival. With enormous relief, Romallo decided to initiate her during the next tribal assembly. For example, China was the Sidena of the right when Paul risked his life riding a worm. The Dune Encyclopedia even suggests it's a Sidena that unlocks the other memory for the Fremen for the first time, going back in their history to the Zensune. I'm telling you this because Chani in the movies is a vocal opposition against the prophecy of which Paul is a part. Could an off-screen way to show this be that she was a Sidena and gained the knowledge that way through either her position or through interacting with the Reverend Mothers? We do see Jessica when she has risen to be Reverend Mother within the movies of Sietch Tabr, has Chani give Paul a little of the water of life to revive him after he has taken a larger portion to unlock his full abilities as the Kwisatz Haderach. Though she is ordered by Jessica using the voice to do it, this might indicate she does have the Sidena training and some of the knowledge which she shares with others. Admittedly, this only would explain the knowledge within Sietch Tabr, but think of the Fremen. They are a small, tight-knit group spread all over Arrakis, small communities with a very focused way of life. I can see it being a little bit of a small town or village for myself mentality where everyone knows each other's business. So if it did get out, it would spread. So that's my opinion, my conclusion. Please share yours below with me. It feels great to cover Dune again after so long, and I'm looking at what else I can bring you in the near future on that count. I have some ideas, but I don't want to commit to anything right now until I'm satisfied it's something new that I can say. And if you like this video on Dune, then why not check out the playlist on the channel. I also cover regularly Warhammer 40,000 and Trench Crusade, so check them out as well if that's something that interests you.